Jayden Daniels already a top 5 quarterback in his second season. A lot of us are trying to tell y'all, but y'all don't want to hear it. If you don't want to take it from us, take it from NFL coaches, executives, scouts, etc. MVP 5 loading. Let's talk about it. What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. Today is Monday, July 14th. I hope everybody's off to a productive and wonderful start to your week. Rookies report for training camp at Ortho Virginia Training Center at Commanders Park this Friday, July 18th. We need to talk about our unsigned second round pick, but we're not here to talk about that today. Rookies report for camp later this week. Veterans report a week from now, next Monday, July 21st. But Jeremy Fowler, as he does every offseason prior to training camp, has just released the results of NFL rankings. They rank all positions and they bring a composite score of a top 10 ranking for each position. And per the article, it says, with training camp on the horizon, the league's true insiders made their voices heard. ESPN surveyed league executives, coaches, and scouts to help us rank the top 10 players at 11 different positions, from quarterback to cornerback and all positions in between. This was the 6th edition, so they've done this 6 years now. And as usual, several players moved up or fell off last year's list completely. It says, the reminder that each voter gave us their 10 best players at a specific position, and they compiled the results and ranked the candidates based on a number of top 10 votes, composite average, and dozens of interviews with research, film study, and help from former Washington Redskins safety Matt Bowen. In total, there are more than 70 voters who submitted a ballot on at least one position. Additional voting and follow-up calls with those help survey the thing. It says there's quotes and nuggets and a blurb on each player as you get there. Let's work our way down from number 1 through 10 and see how they're ranking those. But he goes on to say that several themes emerged from this year's quarterback polling. None more important than this. The tier 1 is historically good. The top 4 quarterbacks, you know who the top 4 quarterbacks is. You know who the big 4 is going to be. There is no debate. It is league-wide 100% consensus. You can order them and stack them however you like. You know the first 4 names on the list is going to be some combination or variance of Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. Debate your mother about it. Those are the top 4 in the league. What we're trying to come to a league-wide consensus in is who's going to break up the party, who's going to be the first person to invade this top 4. And we know, because we watched it firsthand, that we didn't just have some rookie quarterback having a phenomenal one-stop year last year. We know what our guy's capable of. We see MVPs and Super Bowl runs in this guy's future. We know that after you say those 4 names, our guy has a strong case to be the next name off the list. But let's see what the NFL thinks of our quarterback. Let me pull up this article for y'all. Let me pull this up on the screen and let's get to it. Let me pull this up on the screen for y'all right now. And we can talk about exactly what they're thinking. Coming in at number 1, this is going to surprise some people. This is going to surprise nobody with a fucking brain. I do not care that he did not have the statistical best season last year. I do not care that he got nuts dragged on him in the Super Bowl last year. There is no debate about who is still number 1 in this league and who is head honcho. We're talking about a player who's never lost before the AFC Championship before. We're talking about a quarterback that just wins his conference every year. We're talking about a quarterback that is not yet 30 years old. who's been to 5 Super Bowls and won 3. This is the correct number one. I don't care how you rank the rest of them. This is the number one guy. Somebody in his conference got to beat him before y'all say that he's lower than 1. Burrow's done it before. That was years ago. That was 4 years ago. Lamar ain't done it yet. Josh Allen ain't done it yet. He is still the Grim Reaper and the boogeyman of the AFC. And as long as he's on the field, they should be in the Super Bowl every season. So here's the excerpt on number 1, Patrick Mahomes. It says his grip on the top spot is loosening slightly. After dominating the voting with back-to-back number 1 rankings in convincing fashion, Mahomes garnered around 60% of the first place votes this year, as he should. Mahomes modest by his standards performance, just under 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, 11 picks, some slight, 15-2, another trip to the Super Bowl. Nobody's getting through him in the AFC. The MVP of the NFL comes in at number 2, which is surprising to me because I don't even think he should have been the MVP last year. I think Lamar Jackson was the best quarterback Lamar and Burrow played the best quarterback in the league last year, but we'll get to that in just a second. It said Allen standing in our top 10 series has been a journey and a point of contention in Buffalo. Since the series started, Allen's pace in the quarterback pantheon was universally celebrated among voters inside the league and highlighted in his piece annually. He became unquestionably a top shelf quarterback in the league, and he was one of the biggest lottery tickets when he came out of the draft. He was either going to be phenomenal or he was going to be out of this fucking league and bagging groceries in a couple years, and those who knew. You could see the talent oozing out of him at Wyoming, but he was so inaccurate, had no help around him. You didn't know exactly what he was going to be, especially after watching his rookie season. But that's why development in this league matters. But Josh Allen is a stat machine. He's 6'5", he's 240, he can run, he can throw the ball 100 yards. He does everything. He still throws some of the stupidest picks and turnovers I've ever seen, but you can't argue with over 4,300 total yards, 40-plus touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. Got his first MVP last year. Still not able to climb Mahomes' mountain. And the Lamar Jackson disrespect continues, but I can't be mad because Joe Burrow, they didn't make the playoffs, but he went absolutely fucking nutso last year. I say this all the time, and people say I overrate him and such. I think Joe Burrow is the best ball placement passing quarterback we've ever seen. I think he's the most accurate and best ball placement quarterback in the history of this game. That's Mr. Walk It to him right there. He had 43 touchdowns last year. Comeback player of the year. Would have won the MVP if his team saw any type of postseason, but when you got a defense that's like the little giants out there playing against professionals each week, it's impossible. As much as he threw the ball, having a league-high 652 passing attempts and completing about 71% of your passes is fucking unreal. Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty, Joe Cool, whatever you want to call him, he's a force to be reckoned with. And he, to this day, is the only guy out of the big 4 who's actually climbed Mahomes' mountain and punched the ticket to the Super Bowl over Patrick Mahomes. He did it at Arrowhead Stadium. He did it in his second year in the league. What do you know? Not everything is a slump. Some of the best quarterbacks in the league actually ascend and get better and go crazy in year 2. We watched Joe Burrow throw for 34 touchdowns in his second season and take the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals, a team we never thought we'd see back in the Super Bowl, to a Super Bowl, and within a few plays and arm's reach from winning it versus the Los Angeles Rams. They didn't get the Lombardi, but Joe Burrow's been itching to get back ever since. It's been a couple years since he's actually been to the playoffs. I love Joe Burrow. I have nothing negative to say about Joe Burrow. Please stay healthy because the league needs you. 6 years in this league, we saw Joe Burrow tear his ACL and break his wrist. Let's hope we never have to see him get injured again. Number 4 on this list, which is crazy to me because Lamar is coming off his greatest season of his NFL career so far. Whoever thought that Lamar would be a 4,000-yard, 40 passing touchdown guy in his career? He has ascended to be one of the greatest NFL talents we've ever seen. and the league should all be suspended, and there should be repercussions for allowing this guy to almost slide out of the first round of the NFL draft back in 2018. Thank God for the foresight, the vision, and fortuitiveness of Ozzie Newsome when he drafted Lamar Jackson in 2018, because letting him hit the second round would have been a disrespect and a slap in the face to a talent this rare. But Lamar's coming off his best season in NFL history at this point. He should have a third MVP, but I ain't going to go there right now. The first player in NFL history with 40 passing touchdowns and 4 or fewer interceptions. I'm going to say that one more time for those in the back who still like to say stupid shit like Lamar Jackson's a running back. The first quarterback in the history of this fucking league to have 40 passing touchdowns and 4 or fewer interceptions in a season. A 10-1 touchdown to interception ratio winning percentage is insane, 74.4%. And he's the leading rusher on any team he's on that doesn't have Derrick Henry on it. One of a kind, 77.3 QBR. He is the most athletic, freakiest guy at the position we've ever seen. Lamar, you got to get over that hump. You got to get your hiking shoes ready to scale Mahomes Mountain at some point, because if you don't, it's going to look crazy and people are going to crucify and try to diminish the impact you've had in this league. But I love Lamar Jackson. You can stack up numbers 2 through 4 however you'd like to. I still think there's no debate. It's Mahomes until proven otherwise. And then you can stack Lamar, Burrow, and Allen. You can throw them in a hat and you can scale them however you want to. But this is what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen. I don't mean to be so long-winded and over rambly on this Monday afternoon, but I just wanted to lay out the foundation and the context of this conversation before we talk about the 5th best quarterback in the NFL. Because if you watch this channel, you know I champion this. You know I wholeheartedly support this sentiment with evidence to back it up. I think Jayden Daniels is going to be a top 2 MVP candidate, and not 2. I think he's going to win the MVP in the 2025 season. But let's get into it, baby. The number 5 quarterback going into the 2025 NFL season is our quarterback, our fearless leader, JD5. Jayden Daniels, highest ranking 5, lowest ranking of the eligible votes 10. Last year's ranking, not eligible because he was a rookie quarterback. Let's read the whole blurb and excerpt on our guy 5. Daniels' phenomenal rookie season demanded an appearance somewhere in the top 10. Then he pushed his way into the top 5, narrowly distancing Stafford in the voting, shows voters have no problem validating his hype. What's the name they just said? Matt Stafford. When you hear me go on my rants and start bloviating about Jayden Daniels being the 5th best quarterback in the league in the face of the NFC conference, the one name I always make synonymous with him is Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford's going into year 17 and 37 years old. He's still phenomenal. He still has an arm for days, but he's not at the peak of his career. He's not at the zenith of his superpowers. And that is why Jayden Daniels is number 1 in the NFC. Jayden is 24 years old. He's only getting better. The team around him has just gotten better, and we have not seen the best version of him yet. We've already seen the best version of Stafford. He has a plethora of talent around him, and he's still a dog, and he has Sean McVay, which is a coaching robot, coaching him. And I don't mind if people say Stafford's the best quarterback in the NFC, but I'm taking my guy. It says last season, Daniels posted the 4th highest QBR in the NFL. 70.6, the best mark to date since Dak Prescott did in 2016. Dak Prescott had a phenomenal rookie season. They went 13-3. Did he sophomore slump? No. A lot of quarterbacks don't sophomore slump, but I see the entirety of NFL fan bases led by one specifically who hoisted a Lombardi trophy last year. They're on their hands and knees praying that there's a sophomore slump because they don't want to envision a world where Jayden's better, where we saw the worst version of him in the NFL last year. He's progressively gotten better each year of college, and he's going to do so in the NFL as well because there are things that he could work on. Single-handedly took one of the worst franchises to the NFC title game as a rookie with a bad defense, one legitimate receiver, a dinosaur at tight end, who he got over 700 yards and 8 touchdowns out of last year. The kid can read coverages, throw with accuracy, touch, layer it to all levels of the field. He's just as dangerous as Lamar and Josh with his legs, has a clutch factor to him because his team already believes if he has the ball in the fourth quarter, he's going to find a way to win. If he repeats anything close to his rookie year, he is no lower than number 3 on this list next year. Let me repeat that one more time for those in the back in Philadelphia. If he repeats anything close to his rookie year, he's no lower than 3 on this list next year. And I totally agree. I was talking to Lil Rio, my son. Shout out to Lil Rio, by the way. We were talking over the weekend about how high can Jayden be in the rankings of quarterbacks, the top 100 list next year if he goes crazier this year. I said, son, you're looking at a top 2, top 3, and maybe not 2 or 3 finish if he builds on what he did last year. The truest dual threat in the league, ranking second in the NFL in yards per rush and scramble yard. He had to lead his team in rushing on top of passing. He had to do everything for this team. I don't want to hear none of that CJ Stroud shit over here. Cole Bernard Stroud IV is a dog. He's not this. He is not Tom Brady on a jetpack. He's not that. He has the processing, he has the pocket maneuverability, and he has the accuracy. Jayden's got the whip of an arm. He's got the legs. He's got the clutch gene. He's got it all around him mentally. And he's only going to build on it going forward. Jayden Daniels is your number 5 quarterback in the league, according to coaches, scouts, and executives. So if you don't want to believe us, Philadelphia fans, believe the fucking people that work for the NFL because they ain't got a lot to kick it, my nigga. They ain't got to try so hard. They can just actually speak their mind anonymously. Moving on to numbers 6 through 10. Let's just take a quick snapshot look at who 6 through 10 is. Finally, another NFC quarterback, because another thing you notice on this list, all of the top 4 quarterbacks in the league are all in the AFC. The league has been dying for a face of the NFC. Matt Stafford's too old to give him that. They need a guy to prop up like Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, and Jackson in the NFC. The league could not wait to show our guy the ropes. And you're going to see him on primetime television. You're going to see him on Hard Knocks. You're going to see him in 8 standalone games. But now we got 2 in a row out of the NFC. Matt Stafford coming in at number 6. Then we got Jay Herbo, one of the most polarizing players analyzed by fans, media, etc. But he's one of the most productive quarterbacks ever. He just has not got it done in the postseason. Last year, he was throwing interceptions all up and down the fucking field versus the no-fly zone of the Houston defense. And we all watched them give up a 27-point lead to lose to Trevor Lawrence and the Jags in the playoffs a few seasons ago as well. Staying in the NFC for 3 straight, they got Jared Goff at number 8. Shout out to season 2 of Quarterback. If you didn't watch it yet, go to episode 7, skip halfway through the episode, and watch Jared Goff's cut up and blurb of the divisional round versus the Commanders. His wife and her friends were planning their outfits and their TikToks to travel to not travel, to host the NFC Championship. They're talking about how this is historical, how they get to host 2 playoff games in a row, and then Jayden pulls up like the fucking Grim Reaper and gets them boys the fuck out of Dodge and sends them back to the Cosmics. Jalen Hurts at number 9. I have Jalen Hurts higher on this list. You know who doesn't have Jalen Hurts higher on this list? League executives, scouts, and coaches. He just won the Super Bowl MVP. So I'd bump him up a little bit higher than this. But truth hurts. Truth hurts. You can win a Super Bowl and not be the best quarterback in the league, the conference, and the division. We've seen it before. He had a phenomenal postseason. I would put Hurts at lowest 7th or 6th. I think you put him at 6 right behind Jayden. But I totally understand Matt Stafford and Justin Herbert coming before him. Jared Goff, I'm not putting Jared Goff over Jalen Hurts. You can get the fuck out of here with that. But I'm giving Hurts over that because I think Hurts does more heavy lifting than Jared Goff, and he has more to his game. But let's see what ESPN has to say about old buddy Jalen Hurts. He was an honorable mention last year. Hurts' status is cemented. He's a Super Bowl winner who plays big in big moments. He has the most potent short yardage quarterback rusher in NFL history. He is the king of the 1 yard QB sneak, the tush push, the brotherly shove, whatever you want to call it. He had a better year running the ball, and the way he played down the stretch with healthy was impressive. When asked to be the high-volume thrower, 538 attempts, Hurts struggled taking care of the ball, back in 2023. He had 15 interceptions. To his credit, he cut that number down to 5 in 2024. He definitely increased as a passer. Here's the thing. There was a good 7 to 8 span week of the season where everyone in the world questioned Philadelphia's passing game. Even the fucking best receiver on the team came out and said, yeah, the passing game lacks. So there's still room to grow as a passer for Jalen Hurts, and that's why the NFL has him ranked as the number 9 quarterback. Debate your mother, cry about it, all of that. Y'all still won the Super Bowl. So y'all can say and respond to that and however you'd like to. Truth is the truth, though. Moving on to number 10. So we can get out of here. I've already been rambling for 21 minutes and 50 seconds. Baker Mayfield coming in at number 10 on the list. Another quarterback that we eliminated in the 2024 playoff. Baker threw for like 5,000 yards last year. And what did they do in the first round? They added another receiver to the already stacked room of receivers he has while they brought back Chris Godwin to go with Mike Evans and Jalen McMillan. Now they got a first rounder out of Ohio State, Emeka Egbuka, to add for it. Those are your top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL for 2025 based from coaches, scouts, executive. 10, Baker. 9, Jalen Hurts. 8, Jared Goff. 7, Justin Herbert. 6, Matt Stafford. Moving on to the top 5, our guy, Mr. JD Jedi 5. The chosen one at number 5 for our Washington Commanders. Number 4, Lamar Jackson. Number 3, Joe Burrow. Number 2, Joshua Allen, who just recently got married to fine-ass Haley Steinfeld. Shout out to him, by the way. And number 1, still at the top of the throne and looking down at the competition, Mr. Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs. That is all I got for right now. Let me know what you would change, what you would contrast, and what you took away from this ESPN article and survey held by Jeremy Fowler in ESPN going into the season. We'll have some Trey Amos to talk about this week. We'll have some Terry McLaurin to talk about this week. And we're going to try to get a stream or two out this week. I'm going to try to get Lake on the channel. We can keep talking about the uniform. Speaking of the new jerseys, by the way, if you haven't checked it out yet, the Super Bowl era Threads white alternate replica jersey in men's, youth, and women's sizes are available for pre-order on the Dick's Sporting Goods website. Not in person, the Dick's Sporting Goods website. You can order a Jayden or a Terry McLaurin jersey in men's, youth, or women's sizes in the replica, not the limited, not the Authentica, the replica game jersey, the $130 screen print joint. They're available. And when you say, wow, they got Terry's available, he didn't get extended yet, I want y'all to know Terry McLaurin is still under contract. Terry McLaurin is not a free agent. I know people get lost in the mix of the offseason. Terry McLaurin still is a Washington Commander. He is under contract whether they get an extension done or not. They're going to get the extension done, but we're in the fourth quarter of that. We're in crunch time for that. We'll be having some conversations about that as well, and I'll be making some appearances on other channels. I'll be sure to throw those on the story. Love you guys. We're that much closer to a full season of Commanders football and shenanigans to talk about. We've made it, y'all. Football season is on the precipice. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Until next time, Commander Rio.